Hello, beautiful people. I'm Koneko, and welcome to Shinsei na Koneko. I hope that you're all doing well and that you're having a wonderful day so far. And welcome back to Pathfinder, Kingmaker. So, last time, we finally got to step outside into the world and travel to our first destination, the trading post. On our way there, we fought, camped, and I learned the consequences to my incessant need to collect everything not tied down. I made a promise to do better with that, but, let's be honest. I will most likely continue to have difficulties with this, and will weep in the aftermath every time. On our arrival to the trading post, we had our first encounter with some bandits. They were harassing the lovely people of the trading post, and despite my attempts to keep everything peaceful and calm and let them off easy, they made the unwise decision to take me on. And naturally, my team made quick work of them, and we got to meet the traders, Oleg, Svetlana, and their hermit friend, Bokin. And clearly, the bandits didn't take the warning and learn from the first fight. People rarely do learn, right? And because of that, they came back in a large group, only to be decimated yet a second time. Though I will concede that Bokin and his way with the flame played a major part in that victory. He killed most of them, I think. So alas, that was kind of that. And despite the afterglow of a well-fought battle and the promise of a nice warm place to rest after forcing everyone to carry on, despite the weight of our inventory that I keep building up very heavily, my night of rest was once again disrupted by plot. During the night, I was approached by the Guardian of the Bloom, who informed me that the Stag Lord threatens not only just the people of these lands, but the land itself. The Staglord and his druid appear to have created some type of fog that is suffocating the land and its inhabitants. So yeah, we have quite the work ahead of us. Settling a kingdom, hunting down rivals, and killing bandit lords that are destroying everything. A hero's job. So anywho, we are now awake at the trading post and ready to make our next move. So let's get this show on the road, shall we? I can't do anything about this until I guess her trickery goes up. Let's talk to Lindsay. I like you. A halfling girl with tousled hair wearing a dusty traveler's outfit sits chewing the tip of her quill. Just a moment. How should I put this? Oh, I know. She scribbles something quickly in a notebook, scrawled with verse. Raises her eyes and gives you a bright smile. Oh, hi! Okay, so I want to know a lot more about you, because I kind of like you and want to know a little bit. I want to get to know the people I'm going to be traveling with. So where are you from? Yeah, you've traveled. So, she was born in Galt, a nation of free thinkers and radicals renowned for brilliant poets, artists, philosophers whose ideas shaped the politics of the whole of Afghanistan. Galt was once a vassal nation, of Cheliax, I'm assuming? Cheliax? After the death of Orodin and the rise of the House of Thrun in Cheliax, the people of Galt decided to throw off their foreign rulers along with their own nobles who had colluded with them. The executions did not end the bloodshed. Within 5 years, the severed heads of the ministers of the first government rolled down the steps of the guillotine. In the 40 years since, over a dozen governments have ruled Galt, rising and falling like the waves of swimming sea. So not the most stable place. Okay, so she was from a tiny village that's not even on maps. Her teacher, she'd still be living there, doing basic stuff. So who was your teacher? Okay, he was a true saint. He was once an important person in the capital at the Church of Shaylin, but he got in trouble with the authorities and went on a self-imposed exile to the tiniest, most godforsaken, priestless village he could find. The one I was born. Okay. So he wanted to open up a school, but the villagers wouldn't let him. Aw. You can heal us all you like, but not putting any ideas in our children's heads. Oh, come on. It'll only distract him from their work, but he did teach me on the sly. He taught me how to read, how to write, and he gave me books, poems, legends. He was the one who told me about Arch Knights of Avestan. And when I told him I was going on a journey, he gave me a magic ring so that Shaylin would protect me from harm. I haven't seen him since I ran away from home. I hope he's alright. Yeah. It's good you had somebody to kind of like encourage you to move and do more with your life and explore what your options were. And you seem to really love writing, so let's see. The Arch Knights. I have not heard of them, no hun. How can you be a heroine without knowing one of the most epic stories in the history of stories? I am new here, okay? I'm fresh off the boat. No, I won't spoil anything. You should just read about them yourself. Every single chapter. Their adventures are what gave me the idea on going on a heroic quest and writing about it to begin with. And now, look at me. Here I am, on a heroic quest. How did you become a bard? Yeah, if you were, like, in, like, the most booniest of booniest towns, how did you decide to become a bard? So she realized that there was nothing at her at home, which we learned. She decided to leave. A traveling book peddler, Tessie the Quill, happened upon our village. While I stuck to her like a burr and wouldn't let go until she agreed to take me as an apprentice. Together we traveled everywhere. Brave Boy and Taldor. I have so many locations to learn. Right. Okay, and even Okay, so and then I found out about the Academy of the Grand Arts in Patax, and I thought, well, I love reading stories, so I can surely learn to write them too. I enrolled on my first try, and they even gave me a scholarship. Then they expelled me. Whoa, and that's okay. They'd already taught me all the important stuff, and now with Shaylin's help, I wonder why you got expelled. So, yeah, it's true. You do mention Shaylin a lot. Like, is it just... Okay, so she actually does. But she's the most important of them all. All the other gods guard the world as it is, but only the Eternal Rose, the goddess of beauty, calls us to the world as it should be. Yeah, that would make sense, especially considering you're a bard. That you would, follow the goddess of art, beauty, love, and music. This seems like a really mean thing to ask, but yeah, why are your clothes so messy? Forget it. I can't waste money on looks. I'd rather buy books instead. You precious soul. In 100 years, when people are reading my books, they aren't going to ask whether the author had holes in her sleeves. Yes, but I shall make sure that you are clothed well enough. Okay, so let's ask you about something else. We've already asked you about you, so you came from Patax, so tell me about that. Oh, she loves I love Patax, even though they kicked me out. A joyful place. So what was life like there? Actually, Patax has always been one huge nest of thieves. Bandits, river pirates, smugglers, fences, card sharps. It's always been home for the likes of them. Not a place I would probably thrive. But that was before Irovetti became king. With him, a whole different life began there. Irovetti always wanted to make history, but not as another bandit with a crown, though that's exactly what he is. He wanted to be glorified through the centuries as a great patron of the arts, so he built the Academy of Grand Arts and spent lots of gold to assemble the best artists, poets, and musicians. Of course, the very best ones refused to go, but he got what he wanted in a way. If Patax was once just a booze barn for thieves, now it's a cabaret. Okay, so he helped bring more to it in terms of culture. So what do you know of King Irovetti? He won his... Really? Well, that's definitely an interesting way to win a king title. On a game of cards. Which says as much about Patax as it does about him. He's fiendishly clever, cheats I know told me that it was from the moment he appeared, he started to pulling off such schemes that the old city masters just scratched their heads. With him in charge, Gled flooded into Patax, and also he's incredibly, unimaginably, fantastically decadent and conceited. Getting drunk with whores at the pub. That's not Lord Irovetti's style. Oh no, he aims higher. Dressing up like a male Calistria, also known as the Savored Sting and the Unquenchable Fire. Okay, so this is another goddess. Okay, so he dresses up like the male version of the goddess of lust and revenge, who can take on many faces and disguises. Okay. And holding a 3-week... Oh, okay. He's a little bit of a wild one. With dancing on the rooftops, parades, public executions, and a contest for the best ode to the great unrivaled king. That's more like it. Well, he does what he wants. That's cool. No judgments. He also likes singing. Ugh. He orders his guards to make the citizens gather for his shows. May Shayla have mercy on his listeners. Not the best of voices. Okay, and what about the Academy? You know, jokes aside, I'm thankful to Irovetti for building it, but he has no taste at all whatsoever. He likes his art loud, bright, grandiose, and most importantly, glorifying His Royal Highness. He kicked out the best charcoal artist because he didn't wish to spend money on gray scribbles. He sacked a masterful flute player from Shinsei for playing too quietly, and instead ordered them to open a kettle drum class. He even ordered the Academy to expel me, and for what? An innocent limerick. What was the limerick about, huh, Lindsay? Was it really so innocent? Yeah, would you like to go back and finish your studies if you ever got the chance? I'd like to return, but on one condition. If they threw out 3/4 of the professors who teach there now and returned all the ones they banished. If you ask me, I'm proud to have been expelled. If my art was to Irovetti's liking, then I would have reason to be ashamed. Oh god, just shaming him. Okay, so let's ask you something else. Okay, so you're writing about our adventures. I love that they have her doing that. Let's see more about that. What is there to tell? You've seen some of my rough drafts already, haven't you? Yes, I have, and I will continue to read as much as I possibly can. It's about you and your adventures. I'm writing the whole truth just as it happened. Well, the whole artistic truth. You know, no glory, no story. So yeah, why are you writing? Like, I know you said you're a bard and you want to kind of like do it because, hey, let's, actually have somebody writing as we're going along, but anything else? So when I was at the Academy, Eobald the Insightful began his literature course with the question, what is a person? And he asked, a person is a storytelling animal. Our world does not consist of things, all these woods, seas, and cities. It consists of stories about those things, the stories we tell to ourselves and to each other. Just think about it. Centuries will pass and there will be no me and no you. All your subjects will be long gone, but you and I will live on another people's memories and influence their deeds thanks to this very book. No, I'm not gonna say that. Is it? So far, from what I've been reading, besides being a certain way in terms of how she's descriptive, she's pretty decent. I guess it's more so she writes as she probably would talk. So what kind of character am I? Truth be told, I was a little afraid of meeting a real hero. In the books, they're all protectors of the weak and poor. But what about in real life? But you eased all my fears with 2 shakes of a tail. You're a true heroine, just like in the legends. My new fear is that in 100 years, my readers will say that people like you never existed, but I'm writing the truth. How do you feel about me reading your work in progress? Well, these are only drafts, but of course you're welcome to read them. Just keep in mind that even if you don't like what I write about, I won't change a single letter, so don't even ask. No feedback? No, I can't give you any feedback? Of course, it's a book about you, and it's my book. Understood? Understood? The small writer's eyes glow rebelliously. Honestly, she's free to write whatever she wants. Like, it's true. As long as she's not, like, going out of her way to be, like, false. Do what you like. I trust you. I don't... Maybe I need to read back, but I don't really see any inconsistency, so I'll ask you something else. Tell me about your friendship with Tessie the Quill, the person who you followed around. What's there to say? The books woke my urge to travel, but it was only thanks to Tessie that I managed to really get out of my village. At first, Tessie tried in vain to get rid of me, but later when I told her I was staying in Patak, she even shed a tear. I wonder where she is now. Aww. Okay, was she shedding a tear because she was sad you were going, or because of where you were going? I'd be sad if you left. I like you. Okay, so what's the deal with the ring you always wear on your finger? This. Lindsay holds her arm for you to get clear view of the ring. It was a gift to me from my first teacher. It's magical. Okay. And it transports me to a safe spot? Do you mean literally or figuratively? So please don't be angry. Oh, she's literal. So she's just gonna randomly pop in and out. Okay, so please don't be angry if suddenly disappear from a fight. I'll wait for you here. Promise. Oh, no. Never. Just don't leave without me. Of course, I could just write whatever you tell me, but if I want to stay cooped up in a dusty room, I'd be sleeping with the lectures, through the lectures at the academy. I will always bring you with me. Watch, like, in the future episode, I'm like, okay, Lindsay, it's time for you to go. But no, so far so good. I'll always have you with me, Lindsay. Svetlana. Okay, so what did you want to ask me? This is a very personal request and maybe not important enough to your time. I'll completely understand if you say no, but the first time the Stag Lord came, anybody else took my wedding ring, just tore it off my hand. It's just a trinket, really, but it meant so much to me. I remember every moment of the day Oleg came to me, that ring in hand, to ask if I'd marry him. I was standing in a fancy... Oh. Every day? Oh, every moment of the day. Oleg came to me, that ring in hand, to ask if I'd marry him. I was standing in a fancy dress on the stairs of my father's home, fearing that I'd misheard something, or that I'd say something stupid and everyone around would laugh. If you happen to find my ring among the bandits' possession, please bring it back to me. It's easy to recognize. My name's engraved inside the band. There is one more thing. Among the bandits, there's a dark-haired woman who wields dual axes. She's not bad in a fight. In fact, she's extremely dangerous and cruel. But please, I beg you, show her mercy. That's your sister, isn't it? It's like your family member. Yeah, I'd be happy to help. So don't kill the girl. I'm gonna forget that instruction, aren't I? No, I'm pretty good in general with at least things like that and giving people mercy if possible. Yeah, so, okay, I'm helping you out, but tell me about yourself. How did you and your husband find the courage to, establish yourself here? It was Oleg's idea. Though I supported him in it, we didn't realize how dangerous it was here, of course. In Restov, everybody respects the Sword Lords, and everyone's accustomed to relying on them. Even the mention of someone like Lady Jimandi could be enough to fend off a street thug or some other trouble. It could even maybe work in some places here, but not with the Stag Lord's men. What do you know about the Stag Lord? Like, what should I be wary about? He's not just some average bandit. If no one puts a stop to him, he'll turn the stolen lands into his personal kingdom, a kingdom of fear and oppression. I'm always at odds with these two, like, lawful good and chaotic good. I'm always, like, at ends. I feel like this is just like, yeah, I'll help you out. I love, like, helping out. Yeah, I like helping people. Okay, so to go farewell. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so make sure to help her out with that while we're doing our actual quests. And Enorial 8 Eyes. I have never met you before. The elf looks straight at you, the tangled hair falling over her face. Hey, you're an adventurer, right? Seeking your fortune in the Soul Lands? You aren't the only one of your kind here. Take my advice. Keep your eyes open and watch your back. Sometimes the ones who call themselves your friends are more dangerous than your enemies. Judging by the elf's voice, it's obvious they started the day with a jug of wine. Who are you? Enoriel, 8 Eyes. Once upon a time, I was famous throughout Absalom. Okay. So, what are you doing here? So she sits here waiting for adventurers who are in need of help. I may be sitting here in the Black Woods Tavern, but in Absalom, I have lots of friends who are eager to make a few coins. They have brave hearts and shallow pockets. A little gold would be welcome change for them. I can send them a message and they will come from Absalom through a portal. If you're interested, just give me a sign. Oh, interesting. So I can like hire people through her. Also, I can summon tutors from the Pathfinder Society who can retrain you. Okay, and okay, so this like reskill. The first time you do, it's free. The first time 3 times. After that, the price will gradually increase, and such is the great way of doing business with new clients. Okay, so my fear of like messing up my skills and everything like that has some level of grace to it, and I can always reskill. Why are you called 8 Eyes? Once long ago, I could spot an enemy and pin him to the wall before he could even think of attacking. Some said I had 8 eyes and looked all around at once. Though it seems I have outlived my nickname. I've been drinking so much lately, it's best I don't test my skills too often. Where were you when the trading post was attacked? She was hunting. Got a little lost in the mist, which is the first time that's happened to me. I guess I should go easier on the drink. But don't you imagine I'd be scared of a good fight. If only I'd known I was missing all the action. But I see you got everything under control. Why are you here in the middle of nowhere? You want to know how one could exchange the life of a Pathfinder for this sorry drunken rat hole? You lose all your friends because of one scumbag, then you'll understand. I was the only one to return from the final campaign of the Reckless Six, and whatever is left of me can't be called a Seeker anymore. So that's why she was like earlier, the ones that you call your friends can be your worst enemies. I'm assuming somebody probably betrayed her. She remains silent for a long time, as if wondering if she wishes to poke the old wound. Here's the story. Our leader, Vermelt, was the best of us. Wise, brave, friends with everyone. One of those friends, Adivion Adricent, sent him a disturbing letter. He'd stumbled upon mention of some ancient books on the art of necromancy. Okay. Usually, stories about necromancy rarely end well. Secrets like those are best left hidden forever. Trust me, I've seen what that kind of magic can do. To make a long story short, these volumes were supposedly hidden in the catacombs of Gallowspire. We decided that the books should be retrieved and kept safe by the Society. We gathered in a tavern, discussed the expedition, and then proceeded to Ustalav. It was a normal mission, a quick and quiet recovery. She smiles bitterly. But everything turned out to be much more complicated. We barely made it through the Witchgate Forest. All those terrible living trees, undead druids, and their arches of bone. It was a miracle we managed to make it out alive. We'd chosen Wren Church to stop at. It was marked on Vermelt's map as a safe enough haven to hole up and lick our wounds. How I wish that had been true. Vermelt was the first to perish.
He was attacked by one of the monsters hiding in the stables. It tossed him about like a feather and threw him down an ancient well. His shout echoed for a long time, and I didn't hear the sound of him landing. And then... Aww. Enough. I shouldn't have gotten into this. Who am I to stir up other people's feelings with my chatter? We'd better forget about it for now. Maybe I'll tell you some more later, but not today. Okay. So, yeah, I want to know... So this guy, like, recommended it. And then... Yeah, okay. What's the purpose of the society? It's a school of adventurers. We search for those who are eager to test their skills, and we educate them and give them ideas about where on Golarion they might seek their fortune. They look for forgotten knowledge, secrets, and lost artifacts. They are explorers and pathfinders. We're a sort of mutual assistant club for adventure lovers. We exchange experience, share knowledge, and keep careful records in case it proves useful for future expeditions. And also we publish books for self-seekers and bored urban teenagers from wealthy families. So what kind of members does the society have? All sorts of adventurers. We have representatives from all races, regions, and religions. The Grand Lodge is in Absalom, but there are many smaller lodges throughout Golarion. And the adventure captains direct pathfinders to their goals from across all the corners of the world. There are many renowned heroes in the society, and many scoundrels as well, whose service to the society has brought them fame. So, clearly they're scoundrels. Was it that guy who recommended the whole, like, campaign you guys went on? Who do they support? You mean, who do they serve? No one in particular. The Pathfinders try not to get involved with quarrels of others. They serve only the spirit of adventure, and sometimes they happen to save the world. However, that doesn't mean that there are no black sheep among the Seekers. Would she be really interested in, like, actually coming? Yeah, would you like to join me? I'm wondering if I should, you know, bring in any fighters. You know, I don't have money probably to really be messing around with this just yet, the service just yet, so we'll leave it at that. I think we're good. Yeah, I think we're good to go from that perspective. Hello. I can't pet you or anything? What about the dog? The doggy? Doggy? No? No.
I'll go ahead.
Oh, okay. Of course this is where I find you. We're gonna talk. Alright, spill it. I'm listening. You really don't like talking, huh? Don't know. Depends on what we're gonna talk about. If it's about monsters or swords or scars, I approve. That's good. But if you're gonna ask questions like why or what for or how, screw this. Or you got even harder ones? I just want to learn about you. First, I'm a barbarian. I'm strong. I grew up in the realm of the Mammoth Lords. I left my tribe, the 6 Bears. And they like fights. Yeah, that's pretty evident. What's it like to be a barbarian in the 6 Bears tribe? Our people are big and strong. We can cut a monster in half with one swing. We can walk 3 days and nights with no rest. We can eat a whole fried Arox? I've never seen that one before. I guess you had to do a lot of training to become as strong as you are. Training? No one freaking trained me. The boys of the 6 Bears got the training. All I could do was watch. Oh damn, so she's self-taught. I like the manner in which she carries herself. I thought she was like from a tribe that would taught her to be like this, but nah, she's just like, no. Okay. And you know what? They're still crap even after all that training because I kicked their butts hard. Animals, bandits, monsters all thought they were stronger than me. Idiots. Because if you start a fight, you think you can win. You think you're stronger than your enemy. I defeated them all. See all the scars on my face? What's it like? Huge and freezing. I'd kind of like that. I like being in places that are cold, so that wouldn't be too bad. Tribes hunt aurochs herds to survive. Aurochs are fast, and so tribe follows herd for days, just to not die of hunger. If you are weak, you stay behind and die in the snow. Wow, truly like the best of the best survive kind of people. And also there are giants and mammoths. Sometimes demons come too. The mastodons and the saber-toothed tigers. You would survive, I think. For a few days. Well, thank you for at least believing I'd live for a bit. I don't know if I would, but let's see. Why did you leave? Because they were assholes, all of them. Men were cowards and scoundrels, and women were scared like sheep. Men there think no girl can be a fighter because they are weak. They are afraid of a woman that can beat them. That a woman can beat them. And females just nod, go sell hides, cook meat, and watch kids. That's what they always say, but I'm a warrior, damn it. I won't cook hides and watch meat. Amiri is already shouting, her fist clenched tightly. I told them so. I went hunting with men, and what did I get? Still the same. You're a woman, you stay home. Even gave me a nickname. The soft chieftain, like a warrior woman, was a funny joke. Damn, I even went to hunt those shit-faced frost giants, and there. Amiri suddenly stops, breathing heavily, sweat beading on her forehead. After a moment, Amiri waves her hand awkwardly and forces herself to grin. So I left. Cowards, scoundrels, and sissies there were. That's why. What happened, Amiri? Amiri, what happened? You're a good fighter. Quite good, huh? Compared to who? If I was a crappy male, I'd fight better. Is that what you'd say? She glares at you. Her eyes narrow. Or you say I could be better, like, go get some training, Amiri, right? No, actually. You're good in a fight. You're an excellent warrior. I've just given you a compliment. That's all. True. I fight good. That's what I do best. I'm not gonna rock the boat. So, yeah, you mentioned the frost giants. Do you not want to talk about it? Okay, so I have to like build up my friendship with you before you can tell me about that. Yeah, tell me more about your sword. I bet it's not simple. Check out how big it is. She's so proud of it. She's such a fighter. This sword belonged to a real blasted frost giant. Oh, I killed the beast and took this looker for myself. Fits me perfect. My damned trophy. Amiri's eyes flash with a menace, as if she's challenging some invisible enemy to try taking away her trophy. Yeah, thanks for talking with me. Talking. When will we do some monster killing instead? Girl, I just want to get to know my team. I want to invest some time into you guys. So you were in a society that kind of had the rules that were based on sex, and you clearly were above all that. Okay, so greetings. You are going to be like very like lawful, from my understanding. Everything is well, I hope. I'm ready for new orders. So tell me about yourself. What exactly would you like to know? I was born into a noble family, though I didn't remain long on the family estate. My father sent me to the Order of the Eternal Rose. Okay, so she also probably follows that, but I laughed once I realized I didn't oh, really? Okay, so what was your childhood like? She was born in Boy, but in fact, I've never seen much of the country. I spent my childhood on a remote estate owned by my noble family. My father is a respectable philanthropist, and benefactor of the Church of Shaylin. He's also a renowned private collector and a great admirer of the arts. My mother saw to my education personally. From my early years, I learned good manners, how to behave at the dinner table, and the proper form of words for every occasion. I also learned the difference between true nobles and low-born upstarts, and I learned how to treat each of them properly. Our home was always under the protection of several paladins of Shayla, and my father has donated a handsome sum to their order. One of them, a man of venerable age with a gray beard, once let me touch his shining armor. I still remember the admiration I felt when I touched the cold, polished steel. She smiles. Of all the memories of my childhood, that one is somehow the warmest one. So why were you sent to the Paladin Order of the Eternal Rose? As you can imagine, from my first days, I was surrounded by crowds of servants and nannies who never stopped praising my heavenly beauty. Yeah, Lindsay's kind of in love with that heavenly beauty. The paladins of Shaylin who used to visit our house echoed these praises. In the end, general consensus overwhelmed my father's better judgment. When I turned 6, I was brought to the church of Shaylin and told that this would be my new home. Don't pity me, though, I beg of you. Many who hear this story immediately assume that my parents were cruel and had no love for the child. Valerie's eyes become stern. My parents had respect for me. They taught me something has supported me all my life, a sense of self-esteem. Besides, they didn't abandon me. Every 6 months they would come and visit me at the Order of the Eternal Rose. We had some tea and then had an hour to walk around the garden. Then they would take their leave as etiquette demanded. Just every 6 months? I know they didn't abandon you, but, like, they couldn't visit more often? I guess they could send letters over that time. So, what did they teach you in the order? A variety of things. Some of them appealed to me, others I simply couldn't accept. I enjoyed the physical activities and swordsmanship, but the arts, calligraphy, painting, poetry, and so many other ways to waste one's time. She sighed. I guess that deep in my heart I always knew I'd never be a true paladin of Shaylin. Wielding a sword always felt more natural to me than handling a paintbrush. So why did you leave the order? Was it because of that? Because of my heavenly beauty. Valerie winces in contempt. According to Shaylin's laws, all art is sacred, whatever form it takes. Severe punishments awaits those who dare harm a painting, sculpture, or poem, no matter how worthless the drivel might be. My looks always attracted unwanted attention from the pilgrims and acolytes at the temple. I received my first poem dedicated to me when I was 9. The author was some wealthy geezer. Ugh. Yeah, no. Ugh. And that was only the beginning. Oh gosh. That's... So you were drowning in sculptures, pictures, poems. My admirers mobbed me, and I had to respectfully accept all their garbage. The clerics from the temple were magnanimous, for my suitors made generous offerings to the church, but one time I just snapped. Barely suppressed anger glitters across Valerie's face. Some wealthy idiot had dedicated an extremely untalented poem to me, and he had the nerve to read it right to my face, holding my sleeve. The hour was late, and I was on my way to get some rest after a boring lesson on rhymes. I lost control and tore the poem apart, right in front of him. Valerie raises her head proudly. The paladins wanted to impose some punishment upon me. I don't remember which one exactly. They wanted me to repent. Instead, I just gathered my things and left. So what did you do? Okay, so you went directly to Restov. So I set off for Restov. I wanted to get as far away as possible from Shaylin and the destiny everyone seemed so ready to force upon me. Besides, the School of Swordsmanship in Restov has quite a decent reputation. I'm assuming, especially if you're working with the Eldori Masters, yeah. So honestly, I was hoping an opportunity to learn from the famous Eldori Masters. Eventually, it became clear that their technique wasn't... they teach to avoid impact, whereas I prefer to raise my shield. Yeah, you tanky woman. You a tanky tank. So I bet your beauty inspired many people in the order. Yeah. So my abilities and skills, which I'd learned in the Order of the Eternal Rose, were enough to make the Sword Lords take interest in me. They offered me a chance to join the mercenaries who served the Sword Lords, and I accepted. So you become a mercenary. Yeah, it seems so. Yeah, because is it just okay? So Lindsay's in awe of you because of that. So it's beyond my power to change that, but I've never given a potential admirer any reason to start a conversation. It doesn't stop them. After leaving the order, I took a dagger and cut off the long hair they. Yeah, I also was questioning that as well because she has short hair. I was wondering after when she mentioned that she hated all that stuff and the notion of beauty and like wrecking it, if that's the reason why her hair is shorter. I took a dagger and cut off the long hair they used to praise, and now I get letters praising beauty of my eyes. It was because of my appearance that I ended up in the Order of the Eternal Rose, though I never wanted to be a paladin. It was because of my beauty that an infinite number of suitors have pursued me, all of them confusing simple politeness with hints of affection. Valerie clenches her fist, but do you know what I really want? I want people to stop treating me like a piece of art. I want them to notice that I'm a person, that I am capable of something more than smiling for paintings, where I sit wearing a lacy satin dress holding a basket of peaches in my lap. Is that too hard? Too much to ask? No, it's I actually get why she's shouting. Especially if it's something that's been really bothering you for a very long time, and a lot of people are being obtuse to something where they may think on their end, oh, it's harmless, and it's harming you in its own right. She's clearly built up a lot of anger regarding the topic, so it's reasonable that she's shouting. Well, it's not definitely not comforting to be shouted at, but I understand why she's shouting. So I know what you mean. Yeah, I'm not. That's definitely like really condescending and like shitty to say. Thank you for your honesty. I understand you very well. You are a true friend who I can trust with my life. And it's true, I do trust you with my life. You can handle damage. Yeah, let's change the subject. I've been bothering you about yourself. Oh my, I have opened up quite a bit of dialogue with you. So, yeah, tell me about that. Shaylin is the goddess of love, beauty, and art. Yeah, that's what Lindsay there is following. Her paladins are something like armored artists. That's how they like to think of themselves, at least. She tries to contain her feelings on her inner contempt bursts forth. They are fanatical defenders of worthless, inartistic paintings and meaningless opuses. If you care to know my opinion. They wander around seeking the next pile of garbage, and then they find it, they call it immortal peace. She is not into art. You might not believe this, but the paladins of Shaylin are allowed to slay. You and Lindsay are going to be an interesting pair then, because she is like in love with you and your beauty, and she writes a lot, and she is really glorifying you in her work. You aren't allowed to slay enemies if they beg for mercy. But can you guess why? Because a bandit, a rapist, or a murderer who has been out to the sword will never be able to create something beautiful in the future. So a paladin overpowers her enemy in battle, then inspires him to create a masterpiece. Valerie's face reflects extreme disgust. It might sound hilarious if it weren't true. Okay. I am kind of with Valerie in terms of not really caring much for paladins of Shaylin. Really? Really? You just gotta let bandits and rapists and murderers go free because, hey, they'll never be able to create something beautiful in the future. Yeah, I'm kind of with Valerie on this one. I'm kind of hesitant to ask this because I know it's because she of like their beliefs, but but I'm also curious to know about the goddess herself, like why the goddess herself. Yeah, so she equates Shaylin with like everything bad that happened to her. No, I understand. I understand your feelings. I wouldn't really offer anything else. Honestly, I think the principal idea of like being in love with the like art, art, beauty, love, music, that type of stuff. That I don't think that's inherently bad. And the creation of art, but I understand that she's basically created like she's equated her experiences to what she went through to the goddess herself and then blaming her for it. So I understand. why she's not too fond of that. I understand, but I almost joined her preposterous entourage, and I'm glad I'm smart enough to denounce her. No, I'm not going to play with that. She's already said she doesn't really like to discuss it, so I'm not really going to be that type of person and try and, like, be like, hey, at least there was some group works against... No. So I used to be an embroider. And I still do from time to time. A treacherous blush covers Valerie's cheeks. Aww. Do she like it? It's nothing, I assure you. Just a simple task to keep my hands busy and keep the gloomy thoughts at bay. Nothing special. Okay, so she's an atheist. My leader's orders to live by. But you gotta be careful of that because sometimes your leader may not necessarily be one you want to follow. You know you don't have to follow etiquette and maintain good manners while speaking to me if you don't want to. Yeah, it's true. I'm aware of that. But I'm sure you understand that I am what I am. That's how I was brought up. First my parents and then my mentors of the order. Yeah, so that's just how she does this thing. Besides, I was born to a noble family. Raises her chin proudly. So I rather enjoy the idea that my manner of speech differs a bit from the common language of peasantry. You just can't imagine how many social climbers have bowed politely the moment I open my mouth. Again, no, I'm not going to go into that. She's already expressed she doesn't want to really be seen that way, so I'm not going to really touch that. So do you still have plenty of suitors? Sadly, you're right to suppose that even here in the remote islands, one can find offspring of many noble houses, and all of them consider it their duty to kneel before me, beg me to walk with them in the garden. Oh, and don't forget about the village oaths. They understand the concept of nobility perfectly well, so they realize they'll be punished if they dare make any advance towards me, so they prefer to stare from a distance drooling. And believe me, I can very well imagine what they discuss at the taverns. Aww. Yeah, why are you eager to... Like, I understand you seem to be a lawful sort, and obviously you followed me because of my, the fact that I respected the law at the mansion, but, like, why are you still keen on... Like, what else have I really, like, done that warrants it? What do you mean, why? I follow your orders. I've joined your campaign because I have faith in you. I believe in your intentions to be noble, though things may not always turn out as you planned. You are my commander. Your orders are law. It's my duty to follow them. Valerie hesitates for a moment. Well, so long as you don't order me to do something absolutely dishonorable, but that would never happen, I hope. Okay, thank you for your conversation. We'll talk later.
Tread lightly.
Okay, so we've talked to all three of my companions. Let's just, you know, mosey around, see if there's anybody else I could talk to. Boken. Okay, so he has potions. What do we have potions-wise? I picked up the cat? Oh, or is that a raccoon? I picked up something. I picked up Ember? It's a pet red panda. I love it. Okay. I think we have quite a decent amount of potions. I think we should be okay for now. The alchemist fire is tempting. You know what? I usually don't buy anything, but I can sell some stuff. So let's see here. We'll get rid of these because I already have... Okay, wait. What do you want to offer? I'm guessing offer means like it's junk and I can get rid of it, but I want to hold on to it because this is of interest to a craftsman or collector, and I'm not sure, but I am going to get rid of these weapons here because none of them are really of use to me, and I want to get rid of as much as possible. Okay, you know what? Let's sell them. I should have probably sold it to you. But I don't know if that really makes much of a difference. Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna get rid of all those. Okay, so greetings. You ruffled those villain's feathers. Well, anyway, new day, new troubles. Have you seen the fog? Yeah, I've heard about it. You've never seen anything like it before. The road to Rostov looks like someone spilled milk and it just hung in the air. I couldn't see anything through that soup, not even with a torch. Feels like witchcraft to me. It looks like it is. I bet that stag lord is involved somehow. Indeed he is. You are right on the nose, my friend. Rumors say he deals with all kinds of bad magic. Okay, so show me your wares. You do have some masterwork stuff. But again, I think for now, I think I can... We're doing well so far in terms of a lot of the enemies we're facing, so I'm not going to really invest in buying anything just yet. Usually in the beginning, I rarely buy stuff, and that might kick me in the ass in this game. We'll see how that ends up for me this time around. Right? Okay. And now I did notice some accessories. Okay, so this adds more constitution and resistance. Yeah, so you... I'm gonna give this to you. You need a little bit of resistance, so I'm gonna give this to you. And... I guess... Can I use this? Okay. I have to check to see. I took the frickin' panda thing.
Let us be careful.
Wait, did I take it or was it always in my inventory? Because can I take the dog too? Okay, I wanted to talk to you a bit. Yeah, can I help you in any way? Well, since you're asking, there's a cave nearby. I used to put berries in there, but the place has been overrun by spiders. The berries are red, look a lot like raspberries, fangberries, I call them. I'd be grateful if you gathered a basket full of them and brought them back. Just to be quick, if you do, they spoil quickly. Okay. Those spiders in the cave are mean. Here, let me give you some chemical fire. Crafted it myself. Burn those spiders to a crisp. They will teach them a lesson for taking over my fangberry cave. I also need a bucket of moon radishes. They're rare and mysterious plant. I don't know where to find them, but I know that kobolds gather them and value them highly. There's not a great deal, really. I'd do it myself if I were younger, but if you're willing, I'll pay you 3 potions for the berries and a full purse of coins for the radishes. Yeah, why do you need them? Okay, fair enough. Alright, I'll help. So, what do you do here again? Yeah, you're the herbalist. Let's talk about something else. I should go. Okay. Yeah, because you were in Rostov, which, you know, was safe. At least. At the very least, you had that. I just dislike the noise. Fair enough. I'm a person who generally likes to be in more peaceful, like, quiet areas. More nature. The only aspect of cities that I find, like, really nice is the convenience of everything being there. Lots of people and each with their place on the shelf. Bow before this one, fear this other. Yeah. Don't do business with the third, but be sure to be extra nice with the fourth, and the villagers are a little better. Everyone likes to stick their noses into each other's business. Yeah. I just wanted a place where I can be my own master, and so I ended up here. Yeah, can you give me any information on the Stag Lord? That's quite a task you've set yourself on. The Stag Lord has a fortress somewhere in the area, but only a few chosen from the most trusted of his rabble are ever invited. The location of the fortress is a heavily guarded secret, and with this fog hanging around, I'd imagine it'd be harder to find. I suppose you could try to follow... I wonder if the Stag Lord maybe is anticipating us, and so is setting up the fog to make things more difficult? Oh wait, no, the person who came to me was like, it's not, even though it's a consequence of his actions, he's not directly responsible for it, or something like that. I suppose you could follow the trail of the bandits who attacked the post here. They came from the southwest. Okay. The side of from the other side of the Storm River. The fortress might be there, or at least some large camp of theirs where you can find some information. Yeah, she did tell me to ask them for information. What else can you tell me about the Stag Lord? Not much. Not like I've sat down and shared a cup of wine with the man, you know, but I think he arrived in the Stolen Lands less than a year ago from what I've heard. But as soon as you got here, he took it. No, sorry, as soon as he got here, he took over everything. I wrote to Rostov, tried to warn them that the Stag Lord wasn't some typical gang leader, but they didn't listen. The rumors about him are horrible. He'll kill a person if they so much as disagree with him. He never reveals his face. Those who've seen him up close report the same thing. Ugly scars cover every inch of the skin not covered by his clothes. Okay, so he arrived here like very... Okay, so it's not like I'm really... It's not like these guys have been here for years and years and years and years and years. They came here recently as well. And he's been rattling up some trouble. I wonder if they're just now taking this seriously, or it's just because now that they, you know, need the land, they're kind of like, eh. Okay, the Stag Lord's past is a mystery. He just arrived one day. He was immediately a power to be reckoned with, so I guess the most surprising thing about him is that he has many followers who admire him, as he has minions who obey him without fear. He's got some inner strength in him, or maybe an inner madness. There are many who seem to follow him because of that madness, like it was some kind of virtue. Okay, we'll speak another time then. Okay, so... Okay, so remember that when I get him his fang berries, to bring it quickly, because they can go bad. Okay. You just gonna keep running from me, doggy? Okay, be like that.
Is clear.
Are there any new people who have found themselves here at our trading post haven? No. No rats allowed. I wish I could kill that. Don't like you wandering about. Okay, so we've talked to everybody. Vulcan, Oleg, Svetlana. There's nothing new that's magically come up here that I can find or see. Oh, the fog! Oh, I can actually see it here now. Huh. Neat. Okay.
Okay, everyone, I think this is where we will end things for today. This part was pretty chill, mostly me just getting to know each member of my team so far. We learned of how Lindsay became a bard and how she was expelled from the academy. We learned about Amidi's strength, her passion for fighting, and growing up in an environment that unfortunately did not encourage that. And, last but not least, we learned about Valerie and her complicated relationship with her physical appearance, and the ways of the Eternal Rose. I know that we've barely, started the game, and I've stated this before, but I'm really enjoying these characters, and I'm happy that they're members of my team. I like all three of them, especially learning about how they've opted to follow their passions, and they're walking their own paths. As someone who struggles with this, it's nice and somewhat inspirational to see others achieve it. Even when it's like a fictional environment, it's still nice to see. So right now, I think Lindsay's probably my favorite. At this point, I guess I should ask, who is, out of the three companions that we have so far, which one's your favorite and why? As much as I like both Amidi and Valerie, I think Amidi may not like my need to resolve certain matters peacefully, and may take issue with that in the future. I also think Valerie's rigid views of the law may conflict with some moments, may conflict with moments when I might observe the injustice or flaws with the law and choose a more chaotic option. So, you know, while I understand Valerie's struggles as a result of her physical appearance and the views of the members who follow the Eternal Rose, but I think some of the conclusions about art itself, like the conclusions she's come to, are somewhat limited. And I'm not sure what art-based conundrums our future may hold. Who knows? I may have to do something which may, require me to save some type of artistic item, and she may take issue with that because she may see it as worthless and not worth our time. So it's going to be interesting to see how all this all plays out. I wonder if and how these characters will grow, and if my decisions will have any impact on their development in the scope of this game. We've not only gotten to speak and learn more about Oleg and Boken, but also got the opportunity this time to speak with Svetlana and meet, Eight Eyes and Honorial Eight Eyes? Which I liked because last time, every time I tried to speak with Svetlana, I was forwarded to Oleg, and yes, Honorial Eight Eyes. One, I can't wait to learn more about their story, but also the fact that I can indeed redo my character's stats and skills if needed. This makes me so happy. Though I will admit, I'm finding myself becoming a little bit more confident in my decisions and building my characters, you know, as I move forward, and I most likely will not need to use this feature, as I rarely do. To be honest, like, in most games where you have to, like, build your characters and they offer the ability to respect them, I rarely actually do. But it's nice to know that it's there just in case, just so that there's something there. I doubt that I've really messed up building everything so far, but it's nice to know that it's there in the background if I ever need to spend, well, the first time it's free, but if I ever need to use it, it's there. I must also remember that Svetlana and Boken have both given me quests. And so yeah, I know it's in my quest log, but I have to remember that when the time comes, do not kill Svetlana's sister. Also, get her ring and get some supplies for Boken. So I have to remember as well, he mentioned that the berries, not the ones that, there's something that I need to get from, like, there's gonna be, like, bolts? Is that what he said? Yeah, but the berries, there's berries I think I need to get, and I have to remember when I probably have to wait to get them when I'm on my way back because they can go bad. So I have to remember that not to, like, go get them right away. I have to remember to leave it until I'm, like, ready to come right back to the trading post. So I have to make a mental note of that. So even though, like, even these characters are smaller, they're still interesting and they're growing on me, and I'm really kind of invested in seeing how everything moves forward. I apologize on that note for the lack of action or moving forward in this part. As I said before, in games like this, I do like to take time to get to know my companions more intimately, and I'd like to include these interactions as part of my gameplay. I think it really helps to further immerse ourselves in the world, and truly fleshing it all out helps us to keep all of us more invested in what's happening, especially not just for me, but for those of you who may not be familiar with this story and its characters. So next time, we should finally be able to get in some action and actually move forward with the main story itself. And so, on that note, this concludes part 3 of Pathfinder Kingmaker. Thank you all for watching. If you liked this video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope that you all have a wonderful day. Love you, and goodbye.